One thing that I have learned of becoming an entrepreneur, growing different businesses in different industries is this. There is no better tool to level up your brand or your business than writing a book. And this is the reason that if you look at all the gurus, all the industry leaders, all of them have books, but not just the fact that they have books. Many of them have multiple, but the book is the number one thing these people are willing to promote at a high level. Have you ever noticed that on most of the podcasts that you're listening to, or if you notice that somebody is doing a bunch of podcasts, it's often because they have a book and they're trying to run a big book promotion so they can either hit a bestsellers list or get their name out there or level up their brand or launch something new. Have you ever noticed that? If you notice that people go on podcast tours, it's often because they're launching a book. If you've noticed that they're really getting the name out there, it's often because they have a book. The book is the thing that the biggest names in the world are utilizing their resources for to promote. And it's the thing that people are using more than ever to promote themselves to get to that next level. Here's what's also really interesting. Nothing else will ever be promoted more for you than when you release a book. Now, sure, you may have a launch and you may have affiliate programs, and that's great. But if you write a book, you're not only going to get your affiliate partners, you're going to get your clients, you're going to get your prospects, you're going to get people that are friends of yours that have nothing to do with your business. They're going to promote it because it's a freaking book, okay? So I want to share something because Dan Martell, who wrote a book called Buy Back Your Time, and he's an incredible entrepreneur. He had this to say. I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw this post, and he had this to say. He said, there has not been something that has opened more doors than his book. Okay, keynote invites, podcast interviews, partnership opportunities. And I'm going to read you an actual quote that I snippet from his from one of the things that he actually said. He said, "If you're thinking about writing a book, do it. It completely changed my life in ways I didn't think was possible." And I got the quote right here, right now. This is from somebody who is an incredibly successful person. He is known by all of the big names in the entrepreneurial space, and he seems to be a genuinely great guy, right? And so the thing is this. He's saying that writing his book was a huge decision, opened doors like he never could have imagined. Well, what doors could it open for you if you were to write your book? Okay? Think of the biggest names in your niche. What do they all have in common? They all have a book. What is the one thing that they have launch parties for? Like big launch parties. A book. What is the one thing that they'll go on tour to promote? A book. What is one thing they tap into their entire network for? A book. What is the one thing that they promote over and over and over and over and over again? Their book. Okay? A friend of mine, Mel Abraham, who just released his book, Building Your Money Machine. It's a great book, by the way. He used his book to generate a huge podcast tour, and this was his big ask. And so people constantly showed up for him. People started to see him in a different light, okay? He has already written another book, but this book was the thing that he put a ton of energy and effort towards, okay? A book is a huge investment and excitement and accomplishment of time, energy, and money. And here is why the biggest names in the world all have books, and why a book is the thing that most people are willing to promote more than anything else. Number one is when you have a book, you achieve a massive accomplishment. And when you achieve a massive accomplishment, it tends to make it more justified in your mind to promote that thing, right? Have you ever noticed people who they finish marathons, half marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, triathlons, etc.? They post about it. Why? Because it's a huge accomplishment and they're proud of themselves and they want other people to know. All right. And in that situation, it doesn't feel like they're bragging, but it makes them feel they're accomplished and they want to share that. Your book is a huge accomplishment. So you are going to be more likely to share it. Number two, when you write a book to serve, okay, if you're writing a nonfiction book to help grow your business and make an impact, your book is often going to have your story, but it's going to be designed to help somebody achieve their results, right? Mel Abraham, Building Your Money Machine. His goal is to help people build their money machine. It's not about him. There are stories about him, but it's about the reader building their money machine. Dan Martell, it's not about him. There are stories about him, but it's about you as the reader being able to buy back your time and be more efficient, spend more time with your family, okay? And if you want to help others and you really wrote a book because of your belief to help others, then you are more likely going to promote your book and talk about it because you know the impact it can have on other people. Okay, these are really interesting psychological things when it comes to a book. Next up is this. When you write a book, you believe in the concepts or you wouldn't have written it. You wouldn't have spent all that time and energy writing a book if you didn't believe in it. So therefore, if you believe in something, the more your belief is about something, the more likely you are going to share it, talk about it, promote it, let people know what you have going on. Okay, think about this. Whenever you go on a vacation and you have a really, really amazing time and you feel confident that you just came back from it, you know everything about these specific places, and the next person that you meet says, I'm traveling to here. You're like, oh my gosh, I know it. Here's my recommendations. Boom, boom, boom. Why are you willing to do that? Because you have now a shared experience, you have past experience and knowledge, and now you have something that you know can help somebody else. So this is huge. You believe in that experience and you believe that someone else will have fun. That's a really, really great thing. Next is when you have a book come out. When you have a book come out, this is when you are the most interesting person in your network. You will never be more interesting to other people than when you have a book come out. And this is not just for people in your existing audience, but this is for new people. This is how you can capture some attention of people whose attention you couldn't otherwise have captured. This is how you get attention of people you haven't talked to in a long, long time. So when you have a book come out, it's incredible to get in front of new audiences because everybody has this perception that if you write a book, you are in a different level. Okay? That's just the way our society views it. So by taking advantage of that, you can leverage this into new eyeballs. You can leverage this to being very interesting, allowing you to then become interested in others while creating a win-win opportunity. When you have a book, you elevate your status. All right, people want to be friends with the author. When people, I'll tell you a personal example. When I wrote my first book, I was just a 23-year-old guy, and I could tell people that I worked for the Lakers. And that often turned some heads. They were like, oh my gosh, you work for the Lakers? That's the greatest thing ever. And then when I told people that I was an author, you could see the shift in the way that they looked at me. You could see the shift in their body language. They're like it was a shock. It was like, oh my gosh, you're an author. People don't know a lot of authors. Now, if you're in the entrepreneurial world, it might seem like everybody's got a book, but that's not really the case, okay? Sure, there might be more concentrated amount of authors in the entrepreneurial world, but to the everyday person, being an author is incredible. Even to entrepreneurs, being an author is incredible. I can't tell you how many times I talk to people saying, I wish I could write a book. I'm not ready for it yet. I'm not successful enough yet. I haven't done enough yet. I'm not whatever. So these people are equating the fact that they have a book with success, status, and perceived fame, okay? Huge, huge, huge recognition in your mind. If you want to use a book to grow your business and to help a lot of people, do you see how this is starting to shift the game? People you don't even realize will support you. People come out of the woodwork when you write a book. This is just, we see this time and time again. And then lastly is when you write a book, and this is why people promote it so much. So when you write a book, you are taking 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 years of your life's experience, your knowledge, the hours you've put in, the clients you've had, your business expertise. You are taking all of that and you are putting it into a book that is not just available to everybody, but it's affordable to the majority of people. And it's $20. Okay, that's one of the coolest things ever about books is you can get the best of the best knowledge somebody has in a $20 form of a book. Okay, and this is huge, especially if you focus on higher ticket sales that not everybody can afford to purchase. This is a great way to help everybody because if you're like me, you want to help as many people as possible, but you also are running a business. And depending on who you serve in your business and your business model, well, sometimes a book can be the greatest way to enter people into your world. So this is why all the biggest names in the industry have books. And this is why a book is the number one thing that people are willing to promote. So if you want, I want to give you my roadmap of exactly how to write, publish, and launch a nonfiction book so that you can achieve this success. Okay, and I want to give you a free copy of my book. It's called Big Idea to Bestseller, and it's a very straightforward process on how to write, publish, and launch a book to grow your business and make an impact. And the way you can get that is you can go to www.bigideatobestseller.com/free-book. Go ahead, visit that website. It'll be linked below, and you can get a free copy of my book, which will have your roadmap to writing your first or next book with ease. Now, before we wrap up, I always want to finish with a challenge here. And here's my challenge to you today is look at 3 people that you look up to that are industry leaders or that you perceive them to be industry leaders. Do they have a book? If they do have a book, then ask yourself, could I write a book and level myself up? Could I write a book and help a lot more people? And then ask yourself if they have a book. And if the answer is no, ask yourself, could I be the person that writes the book for this niche? Holy shit, that's a huge opportunity. No matter which way you look at it, there's an opportunity. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I'll see you on the next one.